My friends, I'm really excited today. I got to tell you that right now. I'm really pumped up. We're in the midst of playoffs, but that's only part of the reason that I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up because I've got my all-time favorite coach on the telephone, live from Cornwall, Ontario, the bombastic one, the great Orval Tessier. Orval, how you doing, pal?
Pretty good, Ludzys. How are you?
Well, you're going to be proud as a peacock. I was just talking to our old buddy Stevie Larmer, 2 seconds before we got on the air with you, and he says in my book, been there, done that. You were the best coach he ever had. I say you're the best coach I ever had, but that didn't keep you from ruffling some feathers along the way, did it?
Yeah. Hey, Lud, hang on for a second. I'll just change my phone.
I'll hold you for a second. I'll entertain the audience while you're changing phones.
Hello?
Hi, Orv.
Yeah, I can hear you better.
Okay, Orville.
Yeah?
We just had Steve Larmer on the air.
Oh, yeah?
And he said that you're, in my book, been there, done that, you're easily the best coach that we ever had. I say it. We won a Calder Cup in Moncton, New Brunswick together. What do you remember from that season, Orv?
What do I remember from that season?
Yes.
I remember all the guys that came up to Chicago that year from Moncton. And the year that we had, I think we had 104 points from, and the year before I think they had 64. But all the players that came up from Moncton, yourself, Barnes, and Phil Callahan, and all those guys, they played so well for us, and they were such a great bunch of guys to work with. That was the enjoying part of the year.
Hey, Orville, people don't believe it. They read the book, and they do not believe that we had, for part of that season, a beer salesman as our backup goaltender. The guy sold Molson's as his regular job, and I think he got accosted by John Wensick one night and said, "This is not worth it. I'm going to get a face looks like a pizza," and he left the team. But we had our backup goalie was a Molson salesman, wasn't he?
Who's that?
He was a backup goalie, was a Molson salesman.
Our backup goalie?
Yes.
Oh, he worked in the slaughterhouse.
Oh.
You know that?
I thought he was a beer salesman. He worked in the slaughterhouse.
He worked there. We used to call him Schneider.
Oh my goodness me.
Remember, he had his pack of cigarettes at the end of the bench, and the referee came over and said to me, he says, "Orval, you can't smoke on the bench." I says, "I'm not." Well, he said, "There's smoke here." So they looked down at the end of the bench, and our backup goalie Schneider was having a cigarette.
Unbelievable, Orv. It was no smoking zone, right?
Aye?
It was a no smoking zone.
And then no smoking zone.
Hey, Orv, I tell you, there's a great story. I think that year in the American League, when we won the cup,
Yeah?
the beginning of the season, Jack O'Callahan told a great story in Been There, Done That, the best-selling book by Steve Ludzys. I'll go a little plug, Orville. That we lost the first 6 or 7 games of the season, the first 6 or 7 out of 10, and we had a meeting, and you listened to everybody's complaints. This is according to Jack. I don't remember this, but you said that, he said, "Boys, I want to take you out for a couple of beers," and we might have lost 6 or 7 the rest of the season, and Jack points a finger and says, "Orval Tessier didn't just coach players, he managed men." Now, I think that's a great compliment to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, when I showed up at training camp at Moncton, there was 4 players. That's all we had, and then a few trickles in, but we got about 6 or 7 players just the day before the season started. From there, we started out very slowly, let's see if you remember that, but
Yeah.
the second half, I think we lost about 3 games.
Unbelievable, Orv. And you know what? People got to understand, you're a great minor league player. Did you score 50 goals in the minors when you were a young man?
Oh yeah, I scored. I broke the record in the case in the Eastern Pro League. I had 59 goals, and I ended up with 126 points. That was the most ever in pro hockey at any level.
Absolutely. And then you became a coach. You won a Memorial Cup. You won a Calder Cup. The only thing was the Stanley Cup. And I got to tell you, Orv, I got to be really honest. I don't think you ever got a fair shake in Chicago. Your first year as a coach, you did a tremendous job. We ran away to conference. And you know what? We played the Edmonton Oilers, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. You could have Scotty Bowman, Al Arbour, and Toe Blake on the bench. They were just a better team than we were at that time.
Well, if you remember the year that I was let go in Chicago, you remember that we lost Sutter for the year. We lost Secord for of the year.
That's right.
Lost, who was the other big winger there? Fraser.
Right.
And then we started playing centerman and left wing and that, and we had nobody to call up.
I know.
Well, and all of a sudden they want to replace the coach. Well, the one thing I've always been very proud of is that I left Chicago and never uttered a word or never said a word, and just thanked all the players, and never had any press interviews to make complaints or like that. I was happy to have had an opportunity, and if it was going to end like that, but that was fine. You know, I didn't want to throw dirt at anybody.
It's kind of funny. I talk about this in the book that when I first met you, I was a player for the Niagara Falls Flyers, and you were the head coach of the Kitchener Rangers, and you did not like me, did you?
Pardon me?
You did not enjoy Steve Ludzys, did you, at first?
Well, you were aggravating.
I still am.
When I looked at, you see, I had all the information of that Niagara team from Jeff Lermer, from Steve's brother, and you guys are all a bunch of troublemakers over there. So when we played you in the playoffs, I said we're going to beat you, and we did. But the one thing you got to admire is the talent that you guys had on that team. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it wasn't harnessed.